Thank you. In terms of the Health Professions Forum, the co-chairs have stated their intention to resign from that committee. So I'm not sure if they'll come to board again. So I would like to record my thanks to Judith Vincent and Andrew Griffiths for the role they've taken. We are, in a similar way to the other committees, looking at a reset of that committee. We've got that group, we've got a workshop on June the 9th, and we are looking at how we improve the effectiveness. We've got a call out for expression of interest for new chairs for that group now. The current chairs will support the transition and the reset. And we are looking at, Jan is going to kick off around the importance of that board. We are looking at the vision and the structure. It is set, statutory committee set by Welsh Government around the 7 advisory groups: medical, nursing, AHPs, healthcare science, pharmacy, optom and dentistry, and also looks at across primary and secondary care and mental health and LD. So we are trying to engage the membership, understand how we use that group in a more participatory and influential way. And so that workshop is to kick that process off. So hopefully by the next meeting we'll have an update on where we are.
Is that the only action?
Yeah.
Thank you. And then item 7, just for noting then, the last call for on last year's plan. Marie, it's just for noting, so you don't need to comment on that. Thank you very much. And then 7.2, then we've just put the information on the board advisory groups for noting as well. Pat, did you want to say anything about the reset of the stakeholder reference group?
Only to say that we are actively engaged in trying to make sure that we've got a full complement of stakeholder reps and a full complement of statutory reps. Hopefully by the July meeting we will certainly have more people sitting around the table.
And Pat and I will be writing up jointly to all the statutory bodies, asking them to send a representative to the stakeholder reference group. Thank you. And then there's just my activities since the last board to note at 7.3. So I've not had notification of any other business, but is there anything that's sprung to anyone's mind as the meeting's gone on? Really want to flag now. Thank you very much. We had a very long day, and now we're going to review how effective we've been. No pressure. So Tina,
Yes, so I will take time to distill this down and circulate it. I'll type it up. Sorry.
So we're in public section. We can do this.
Yes, I'm not going to say anything. That's not.
No, we don't. It's appropriate. Yeah. Sorry, so you can.
Okay. So I will type this up and circulate it. I have each opportunity to distill a bit further. So hopefully you can review the paper separately, but it's been jotting notes down. So I'll just go through sort of section by section on positive and areas we might want to think about. So the quality of papers, the positive side, I think, so around the agenda items that are value creating and forward focused, and our reports aligned to the board's ethical stance and moral bottom line. That's what we're looking for. So I felt the chair's intro into what the board's what we're about was really helpful, setting that out, and also Abby's CEO report about framing the key issues for discussion. We had a new quite forward thinking agenda section, which I thought was really helpful to distinguish between that and the sort of day-to-day stuff. And helpfully we've had some new reports around the to help us with our span of board oversight. So Marie's report on planned partnerships, primary care report around dentistry was really helpful. On the sort of converse of those, then the pack was too long potentially. Some of the appendices were difficult to read. We have talked about briefly, Hazel and I haven't had a chance to catch up yet, about creating a reading room so that the reports that come through for the main pack are shorter, and then you've got the reference material and background information in the reading room that's public and people can refer to if they need to, but you've then got the core information that you need for discussion at the group. So that's something we can maybe test going forward. Around the risk appetite, I thought that was used appropriately, where we've requested like special meetings to consider specific items where we've got low risk appetite, i.e. finances. I thought there's a really good level of conversation discussion on the IPR, and I think that's the IPR's work in progress, but it was really, really helpful format. The 3A bit, I think, is work in progress. I think that's been helpful to see, but I struggled, I don't know if anybody else, with some of what the alerts were. So I think that the descriptors of that, and I wasn't able therefore to prepare or ask some questions around that level of details. I think it's something for us to look at. And I think also we may want to include the risk appetite within the subcommittee reports as well to help us be aware of what we need to focus on. The accountability piece, I think the reports were accountability is quite wide reaching, but have a focus away towards government, which I think is appropriate given the issues that we're dealing with at the board at the moment. And the performance and assurance framework that Darren presented was really helpful to set that out. I think some action plans, some of them weren't smart, so I think we can have consistency and by whom, by when, and what the outcomes would be helpful. I've also felt some of the conversations that we had around, say, particularly planning partnership and the primary care, because they were new. Not everybody was maybe on the same level of understanding of what those services were about. So it's our accountability responsibility as board members to either request some more development around that or go and visit those services and seek that information, so that when we're coming to board, we all sort of have the same level of understanding, knowledge of those services. Not expect that to be played through at a board meeting. I'll be quiet in a minute. And then the board assurance, we had really good challenge from questioning from the independent members today. We had a really good, I thought, helpful patient story, and then the protocols that Hazel's submitting really sets out our process around that. And there was a really diversity of board, as we shouldn't have groupthink. We had a really good conversation with different views, particularly around the quality plan that we discussed. So that was the main headlines. I hope that sort of reflects what people's views are, and obviously happy to take any thoughts back to me to capture as well.
Thank you.
Well, should we have a vote for a permanent?
I know. I'm just going to say that I think you've got yourself a role. So anything to add or comment? Abby, do you want to come in there?
I just wanted to reflect. I found some of the format of the AAA report, and I know we've tried to provide more detail, but actually visually, when you're trying to pick out what specifically, I did find that quite difficult. And I think when we bring that conversation into the discussion around risk, I was reflecting, Anne-Marie, on your comment about we've had some risk that's sitting there with a high level. In a previous world, I've used the 4 T's on risk. You know, are you tolerating, treating, transferring, or terminating? And there is something that sometimes we are accepting that we're tolerating a risk. And in a sense, it coming back repeatedly about what we're doing about it is actually what we're saying is, unfortunately, because of our financial situation, this is not ideal, but we are tolerating this and we're accepting that risk by tolerating it. And it might not be that the vehicle that we want to use in the way that we manage risk, but there is just something about where we're clear that actually in the moment we can't do anything about it because the financial position or we don't have the staff. There's something about, so we're not repeatedly bringing it back and there's a sense of frustration. So we just might want to explore that in the workshop we've got around around risk.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I'll be to that as well. And Steve, perhaps we can have another look at the design of the AAA.
Yeah, design isn't one of my fortes, but I agree with you. I agree with you that it's not very visually engaging, is it? So we'll look at that.
We might we can pinch because I've seen the JCC one and we might just pinch that, Hazel.
Yeah. Anybody else want to flag up any initial? Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, from now on, we'll close the meeting now.
Well done.
Well done.
Head it up.
Well done.
I think we're going to be upset.
It's running away, I think, you know. Extra